What's going on, everyone? My name is Nicholas Merton here at DataDash, and today is April 16th of 2019. Well, folks, I hope you all are having a fantastic day wherever you are. And today we've got a wide range of topics to discuss for the update. As always, we'll not only be taking a look at market price action here in a couple minutes, but we've actually got to jump the gun and take a look at the headlines going on in the crypto space because there's something that has got me fired up, guys. I'm going to be ranting today because there's a piece of news in the headlines that not only has got everyone buzzing, but it's got me infuriated. And I think you guys know exactly what I'm going to be talking about. So we'll dive into that in just a few minutes. But real quick, let's go ahead and do a message from our sponsor. Our sponsor for this episode is XDAT, an up-and-coming EU cryptocurrency exchange that has recently launched the Bullwhip movement with the aim of bringing crypto to all. And they want you to become a part of the movement as they're investing over 1 million euros to build the world's largest crypto trading community. By participating in the Bullwhip movement, you can earn incentives worth up to over 2,000 euros in their native token, in addition to earning an exclusive XDAT community token. Do you want to learn more how to earn all these rewards? Check out the links down below in the description, which will detail everything you need to know about the Bullwhip movement as well as XDAT. All right, everyone, so let's go ahead and take a look over the last 7 days and 24 hours. Cryptocurrency markets have been mostly in the red over the last 7 days with a lot in the double-digit downward range, as well as over the last 24 hours. And the reason for this is mostly due to the fact that Bitcoin has been dropping from 5,400 to 5,000. Yet, as we've been able to hold that support, markets still look relatively optimistic. As we can see here, since April 2nd, where we got the blowout on buy-side volume, we have seen a vast majority of the valuation holding here with a decent level of support here at around 168 to 170 billion in cryptocurrency market cap. And I'm happy to see this, guys, so long as we can hold on these gains. Not to mention, we've had a follow-up of volume with this price range. And the one thing I was concerned about is after this blowout, if we were to have a turnover, if there was not going to be continued follow-up of volume. But with higher prices and higher volume in the market, compared to what we were getting a few weeks ago, this is a positive sign, at least in the short term, to where I think we could be testing 6,000 for Bitcoin. I'm still confident that we could possibly see that here in the next few weeks. Along with that as well, Bitcoin dominance, even though it is still looking like it's going to set a higher low here, could go up to around 52.5% as the last high was around 53.5. I think that's a very decent target here. And then after that, I think we're going to roll back over and finally have a breach on 50% here for market dominance. Now, we've taken a brief look over the overall market view, and we're also going to be diving into price here in a little bit, guys. But as I mentioned, we've got to dive in through the headlines here first. There is something we need to talk about. I know it's got everyone fired up. I know it's been, crowding the headlines in the crypto space, guys. And today, I've got to go off on a rant because it hits home to me personally. And that is the news right here on Coin Paprika that Nestle, Carrefour, and IBM are tracking potatoes on the blockchain. Now, why am I infuriated about this? Why are we all infuriated about this? Well, if you don't know why you should be infuriated about it, for those of you out there who are crypto OGs, supporters of the DataDash channel since all the way back in 2017, you know I was the original writer of Potato Coin, the white paper. I came up with the original concept to track potatoes on the blockchain. And you know what? Guys, I'm not having it today. Nestle, Carrefour, and IBM are trying to corrupt the very value proposition of potatoes on the blockchain. They're selling it through the idea of a private potato blockchain, or PPB for short. This is what they don't want you to know, folks. They're trying to corrupt this idea that I had originally created and sell it in a privatized fashion. Interestingly enough as well, you guys know I'm not much of a conspiracy theorist, but let's look at the connections. Where was I just at last before I visited Australia? Switzerland. Coincidence? I think not. French supermarket as well, not too far away. Carrefour. They care for you. Yeah, right. I don't believe it. And IBM, the International Business Machine Corporation. Were they wiretapping me through my computer? Possibly. Who knows? But at the end of the day, folks, no matter how corrupt these corporations can get, no matter how far they will push the envelope to corrupt the very sanctity of the absolute value proposition that is potatoes on the blockchain, we will resist. We can always settle for the true decentralized potato blockchain option out there, and that is the original OG, the potato coin. Check out your local exchanges and support the potato coin ecosystem. All right, guys, so going on to other news that's a little less relevant here. Binance is delisting a Bitcoin SV, and it says that it no longer meets the exchange's standards. So let's go ahead and talk about this, guys. Interestingly enough, I was up late last night, well, obviously due to the fact because of the potato blockchain idea that supposedly is the idea of Nestle. It's really mine. But anyways, in all seriousness, I was up last night and I actually couldn't sleep. And I think there was good reason for it. It was because I got to watch Bitcoin SV getting delisted, or at least the announcement of it getting delisted from Binance live. Now, I have pretty positive feelings about this, and I do have one concern that I do want to bring up, guys. The good news is that I honestly am quite happy about this. I honestly am tired of anyone trying to, for example, claim that they are someone who there's not any substantial proof that they are, and there's plenty of ways to prove that they are. Not to mention as well, I have yet to really see much of the developments for Bitcoin, Satoshi's vision. In this case, I mean, there's been some information online you can kind of dive into about the fork, but I'm just so tired of forked cryptocurrencies, because even Bitcoin Cash originally, when it came out, I had my serious doubts. It's very difficult to get people to use a fork of a currency. The reason being, I can give you a good example. One of my old bosses, for example, had no idea that Bitcoin had forked off to Bitcoin Cash. And in this case, you have to basically get everyone to claim their currency. Now, I know there's an incentive to do so, but a vast majority of people still to this day have not claimed their Bitcoin Cash, have not claimed their Bitcoin SV. And because of that, you're going to have a very difficult time competing with the standard blockchain unless you add overwhelming benefits to your blockchain, right? Not to mention as well, it completely fragments the very nature of a proof of work chain, the very security behind it when you split it up into multiple different blockchains. So these are my big kind of problems in the first place. Not the biggest fan of Craig Wright. I really don't have any serious heartfelt hatred for him or anything like that, but at the same time I just don't really have much optimism for BSV, and I think that he definitely hasn't been a positive marketing influence for the project itself. But again, it's just my opinion. Please don't sue me, Craig. But anyways, so let's go ahead, and take the negative point out of this. As much as this is pretty overwhelmingly positive, I think everyone's been having fun kind of using Craig Wright as the punching bag right now with the hodl not movement on Twitter. The one thing that is concerning here is that there is one exchange in this case, and that is Binance, who has such an overwhelming effect on the markets at the moment. And I will say, to be fair, Binance, may I say, has done a lot better than pre-existing exchanges in the space, and I think has at least a little bit more of a longer-term view in this space and its substantial position. And it's hard for a company to be perfect, guys. But at the same time, it's something that I'm not being critical of Binance, is that having one central company that can do this and have such an effect in the market is a little bit concerning for the substantial long-term nature of cryptocurrencies. So I think this not only points to the fact that we're going to need more exchange competition, but also potentially an increase in the innovation of decentralized exchanges, different platforms like that allow for people to trade and invest in really whatever they want. But again, if there had to be one project that got delisted, I'd say Bitcoin SV is one of those that I'm comfortable with. Alrighty, so going on to some other news as well. Vitalik Buterin has recently stated that Ethereum 2.0 is right on schedule. Now, for those of you out there who don't really know what Ethereum 2.0 is or what it really entails, Ethereum 2.0 is a bunch of various upgrades that are expected still for some time late 2020, or really more realistically towards 2021. This is where most blockchain protocols are looking to really make their next big updates or go to the next version 2.0 or 3.0. But what does it entail for Ethereum? Well, the major thing that it's going to entail is a variety of features, including improved scalability via sharding and plasma. Again, sharding is basically taking fractions of, in this case, the proof of work and breaking them into smaller amounts and smaller kind of clusters in a sense, as well as plasma as well, which is another common scaling solution, and the switch over to proof of stake consensus via Casper. And as we've mentioned as well, we've talked about Constantinople in the past, which has introduced a few minor features. The vast bulk here, as with every other protocol upgrade that people are looking forward to over the next few years, is going to come later down the line in the bigger update for Ethereum. Now, the major thing I want to talk about here, and why I'm excited about Ethereum even until we get these upgrades, and where I've actually kind of had a change of heart for Ethereum, is really where the decentralized financial movement is taking off, or the DeFi movement. This has been a collection of different companies or projects, more specifically, that have been kind of going towards a combined collective effort of increasing expansion of financial services, of increasing the opportunity to build things like stable coins and also lending and borrowing platforms for cryptocurrencies. Again, decentralizing finance to a degree. And this is really where I see the value proposition, guys. I'm going to do a video on this sometime soon that better explains why I'm excited about this. But I recommend you go ahead and take a look at some of the projects here. Some of them we talked about. We've talked about Loopring before. We just did a video on stablecoins, so we talked about DAI, which is created under MakerDAO. There's a lot of interesting projects here you can take a look at. And some that I would say meet under the category of this movement that probably aren't even listed here. But again, this is where I really find the value proposition, guys. A lot of interesting things that are building up financial products, lending opportunities, stable coins, decentralized exchanges, and swaps. I'm just very excited about this because this is where I really think blockchain stands out. Finance. And even though Ethereum is seen as this world computer and people probably think about dApps and smart contracts, I think that those technologies, if they are going to be used, are really beneficial in the industry of finance. It's just where the value proposition is, in my opinion. Now, taking a quick look here at price, guys, I know a lot of people have gotten concerned as we already had not only a pretty dramatic sell-off from the $5,400 to $5,500 range down here to around $5,000. A lot of people are concerned that we've already started to roll back over here to this range. But the thing that I keep pointing out to people to keep an eye on, it's very, very simple, guys. No need to overcomplicate things. Are we setting higher lows here? That we are. We're setting higher lows here on the hourly each and every time. Okay, so until we start to break this uptrend line, which is nice and steady, it's not moving up too quickly, so the standards aren't too high in this case for the bulls to remain confident. So long as this is continuing to hold here and you don't get a serious close or breach here below 5,000, I'm not too concerned here. I'm just going to keep waiting for this to continue going up, and if it breaks through that level, then I'll finally start to maybe close out on some of my gains and wait for this to retrace to a lower level. As you all know, I'm quite confident that this is going to be going up towards 6,000. How fast is that going to be? I don't know. But again, I think we're just going through a slight pullback and slowdown period here before we make the next leg up. And the reason I say that is because the RSI was way overextended here. But we know that Bitcoin can slowly enter out of being overbought and then continue higher here, guys. Not to mention as well, I think it's just key and important at this point to test 6,000 before we come down and test somewhere either down here on the support line for more of a sharper sell-off, or hold here on what was almost an ascending triangle here in this case, which again would confirm confidence in the market. And who knows, maybe what would happen here is that we come back up to this level at 6,000, again, what I'm looking for in the short term, with a sharp rejection downward onto the 200-day, which might be coming down right to that level over the next few months here. Again, we've been calling for the bottom to be sometime this summer. And the reason I was, I did a video recently, I probably could have labeled it a little bit better. I talked about how I was going to be calling for a bull market in the summer. I really think that the serious kind of full-fledged uptrend is going to start sometime in the fall of 2019. But I think the final low here is either going to be set on this uptrend line here for the ascending triangle, or at 4,200, which was previous resistance here, which will bring a lot of confidence to markets. Either way, we are going to get a correction eventually, but 6,000 is going to be tested first, in my opinion. But I'd like to know what you guys think down below in the comments. What are you guys watching at the moment? What indicators are keeping you interested at the moment? And where do you think markets are heading over the next few weeks, next few months? And do you think we could see a bull market, or at least the start to one, as soon as the fall of 2019? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below. But until then, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you all had a fantastic time watching the video, and I hope you all have a great rest of the day. And if you guys are as fired up as I am, leave a comment down below about the news about Nestle, Carrefour, and IBM stealing the idea of the potato blockchain. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Stay tuned.